Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Super pumped to have you here. And today we have a video about, well, once again, Revive skateboards. So in these last few videos, I was talking more asking the question, do you hate Revive skateboards, and talking about their content as a whole and does it have a place in the skateboard community. Today, I'm just going to be talking about the product itself, comparing it to a few other brands, talking about it, and letting you guys know my opinion. But before we get into all of that, definitely make sure to like this video and hit that subscribe button. It helps out a lot, and if you do like this content, it lets me know. So make sure to do that. All right, so before we get into the product itself, I do want to lay down a few things about me and Revive, because we do have a little bit of a past. So when I started skating, I was in Mississippi, where there is absolutely no skate culture whatsoever, and I got into skateboarding from Revive and from Braille. So because of that, and since I didn't have a local skate park or local skate shop rather, pretty much I went to the shred quarters, I bought a Revive board, bought Skateboarding Made Simple, and that's how I learned how to skateboard. And nobody was telling me that Revive was uncool or anything like that, because there wasn't really any other skaters. I was just skating in a parking garage with my Revive boards. So because of that, I've skated a lot of them, and I have some right here, but I'll also show them up on the screen right now. Some of the Revive boards that I've skated. Of course, there is some more, but I didn't want to take them down off the wall. But yeah, so I have skated a lot of Revive skateboards, and then after coming back to Illinois, I've skated all different kinds of brands, and you've probably seen a few of my other reviews. So I think I'm able to give you a very good comparison, and later on in this video, I will be comparing the shape of a Revive skateboard to another well-known skateboard brand. All right, so let's start this off with this white Revive Lifeline. This is the one that snapped the fastest on me. This broke actually in a few days, and it was from heel flipping off of a box, or more of a ledge. And I will say that it was more or less my fault that it broke, because I landed completely wrong on the tail, and I think a lot of other boards will break, but that's how this one broke, on a heel flip. This one right here, this one broke during quarantine when I was skating in my garage. This was actually broken on a flat ground kickflip. Again, I landed it extremely sketchy. It was the first one that I did in the sesh, and I landed it wrong, and it snapped. So we have a break on a heel flip and a break on a kickflip. So now what you may be thinking, this doesn't sound very good. This one, I actually skated for a long time, and this is actually what I would consider my backup board. When my current board broke not too long ago, I set this one back up and continued skating it. It's not in the best shape, but it is still skatable. And then, of course, we have the traditional red Lifeline board. All right, so these two boards stayed intact. These other ones didn't. And what I can tell you about the shape of Revive's boards is they're symmetrical, meaning they have the same size nose and the same size tail. That might be kind of hard to see right here, but it is very true. And there is some pros and cons to that. Personally, I like the nose to be much bigger and much more pronounced than the tail, but it is what it is. When I was learning how to skateboard, it did not affect me at all. Another thing I do want to note about Revive skateboards is that they are almost chip resistant. I have not had one chip. Typically, they will snap before they chip, and that does have something to do with me just skating wrong. But overall, when they've ran into pretty much walls, corners, ledges, they do not seem to chip that much. Like, they're these very small pieces, then they get nicks, let me say that. But I've never had like a Revive board just completely, like a top ply just split on me. But no, I've definitely snapped them. So that is something kind of interesting, because I chip almost every other skateboard that I ride, and out of like the 6-7 Revive boards I've had, I've never had a significant chip like that that told me I need to switch out the board. Typically, the razor tail will get really bad, and that will go to our next point. Razor tail. On Revive boards, the wood, it's strong wood. It's not any higher quality or lower quality than a brand in its typical price range. And what I mean by that is, you see Primitive, Santa Cruz, Creature boards, a lot of them are significantly more expensive, and Revive, they sit just about at that $40 mark. And that's, when I say you get what you pay for, that's pretty much exactly what it is. It's a $40 board, and it's worth $40, and I wouldn't say it's any cheaper or any more expensive. And I've bought in boards that are in that price range that have snapped really quickly, and these are no exception. And I've bought boards in this price range that have lasted a very long time. It really all depends how you land on the board, but out of all the Revive boards I've had, I would expect to have one defective board or something along the lines of that, but I really have not noticed that. All the breaks that I've had, I take responsibility for, and I do not think it's the quality of the wood itself. That being said, if I had a Flight deck or a Santa Cruz VX deck, I'm sure they would not have broken. All right. The next thing I really want to mention when it comes to Revive and their shape is that their concave is not exactly steep and it's not exactly mellow. So I'll show you on screen right now a Revive board compared to a Creature board. And from this, you can see that the Creature board definitely has a lot bigger nose and a lot bigger tail. And looking at it as a whole, it just has steeper concave. So I use Creature as a good reference point because I think it's a relatively popular brand and most people will know what a Creature board feels like if they've had one or if they stood on one of their friends. And if you've only skated Revive boards and you haven't skated in a Creature, that's also a comparison right there for you as well. But the Creature board definitely has more concave, and I consider Creature to be a steep type of concave, where Revive has a concave similar to I'd say an ATM or a Death Wish board is pretty much where the concave lies. Not extremely steep, but it's not necessarily mellow either. There is definitely a lot more flatter boards out there. And without showing you actual pictures of it, you might just have to take my word. Two brands that are a lot mellower and less concave than Revive would be Enjoy or Toy Machine. So if I showed those, you would see Revive is a steeper board. But that's where they sit on the steepness and the shape. As far as the boards, they're snappy when they're new. They will get old in time. If you leave them in your car, if you let them get wet, that will be a significant factor in it. But when you get them, if you take care of them, they will stay snappy. If you're learning manuals, just like everything else, the tail will raise, so there is nothing extremely special about the boards in that sense. And of course, they do have pressure cracks right here, actually almost really bad. And that was the next thing I was going to mention. When it came to Revive boards, and this is something I do talk about when I talk about boards and review boards, when I was putting the trucks on, I was not using a drill, and typically I go corner to corner, diagonal from each other to get the trucks on to stop this from happening. But as you can see, it's still split from the pressure and the torque of putting the trucks on, and that is something just to look out for. If it's no big deal to you, it didn't seem any different in strength, but that does just annoy me a lot, and it tells me that the bottom ply is cracked because of that. But that is completely your choice whether to let that affect you. And this one had it probably the worst out of all these boards, and this one did not snap. So that's pretty much the information I can really tell you about Revive. Are they good boards? Yeah. Are they the best boards? No. Are they better than a lot of brands? Yes. Is there a lot of brands better than Revive? Yes. But there's also a lot of brands worse. So being as unopinionated as I can, I could tell you they are fine boards. If you want to talk about the graphics, yeah, they're a little bit childish, but overall, if you stick with the Lifetime boards, I think they look pretty cool and they skate really well too. I have no issue with them, and I would definitely choose Revive over a lot of other brands. Anyway, I think that's about it for you guys. That's really all I can tell you about Revive. If you've skated a Revive board, or if you are considering one, and you have any questions about it, you want to know what it's like, definitely leave it down below in the comments. If you want to hear anything else about another brand, I can definitely make a video like this with similar brands where it's not as much a review of it. It's just telling you, are they worth the price, and what are the pros and cons of it? Well, maybe that is a review, but all in all, I have good experiences and bad experience with Revive, similar to a lot of other brands. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Definitely check out my Instagram if you want to see the skating I've been doing. I'll have that link down below in the description. And as always, stay safe, keep skating, and I will see you guys in the next one.